Welcome to How We Heard It, the podcast about music, pop culture, movies, and more, with your hosts Wayne Bledsoe and Chuck Campbell.
Privyet! This is Chuck Campbell with
Wayne Bledsoe. And I'm John Baker.
That was a nod to our Russian listeners, which we didn't know we even had for a long time, but then we found out there's some out there. So,
Well, good.
hello to all of you. So this week we decided, at the end of our last episode, we gathered as we do and thought, how about duets? And just like right away, we're all three like, oh yeah, no doubt about it. Low-hanging fruit, John said, you know. It's like, so it's like, of course we have to do duets. And then, of course, I went off and started thinking about it. And I thought, you know, those guys don't define anything the same way I do. So I'm not sure how your definition is, but we'll just go with whatever our personal definitions are.
Well, let me get right off the bat. My definition, I did not go with people who were officially duets, like Simon and Garfunkel and the
that was
Righteous
one of the
Brothers
possibilities.
and things like
Sonny
that.
and Cher,
Sonny and
Captain
Cher.
and Tennille,
Oh,
and
man,
Salt
you're just
and Pepper.
cutting the legs out from under me.
Well, what that does is that leaves that wide open for you to talk
That's
about.
right. It's all yours.
It's the kiddie table.
Hall and Oates.
I wanted, when I thought about it, it's like, okay, these are separate
Official
artists
duets.
who
Yeah.
get together to do something special as
Yeah.
opposed to this is their act.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I love the Everly Brothers and Simon and Garfunkel and all sorts of duets, but you can talk about them. Talk about them.
I think you've already mentioned all of them, huh?
No, no. I mean,
Well, we'll play it by ear.
we'll play. Yeah.
Well, it's your podcast.
Well,
No. Because, I mean, there are some other things that I definitely didn't want to do. Like, for me, I just strictly limited it almost completely to two vocalists who don't usually work together, who are getting together to do a song kind of as a extraordinary thing that they wouldn't normally do. So I didn't do like a pianist and a singer.
No.
Certainly not two instrumentalists. John, if you know any guitar duets, go for it. I'm not about to do that.
Yeah, I stuck with vocals,
Okay.
but anyway, yeah, I've got some kind of subgenres here.
Okay.
But
yeah, I've got a couple of things where I veered a little bit,
Yeah.
and some things I excluded just because, like I saw Tammy Terrell, Marvin Gaye,
Right.
and No Mountain High Enough. That was like on everybody's list.
Yeah.
And I just love that Diana Ross version so much because it's just so over the top, and she goes off into the stratosphere, and I love her version so much that I still that may be anathema or whatever the word is,
Right.
but that's my favorite version. So I didn't do that one, and I didn't go back. I have more recent songs than older songs.
Well, I didn't go back to the 30s or anything.
Oh, good. We don't
Although
want to go back
thinking
there.
about it,
No.
One-eyed Willie and his...
Yeah, One-Eyed Willie again. We can almost project the 2030s at this point. You know, we can look at youngins like Olivia Rodrigo, Billie Eilish, for example.
maybe they'll do something.
Maybe they will.
Never know. Well, one thing that struck me when I started thinking about it are the people who. There are certain people who became duet artists,
Okay. Yeah.
like Jennifer Warnes.
Yeah.
Jennifer Warnes.
Yeah. I don't ever know her having a solo song, but she shows up on so many duets.
She had plenty of solo albums, but nobody paid attention to her solo stuff.
Yeah.
But then she had Up Where We Belong with Joe Cocker, which was in a movie.
Yeah.
And then they got her with Bill Medley from the Righteous Brothers to do I've Had the Time of My Life
Yeah.
for a movie. I love the first one. I hate the second one.
Right.
Even though the great vocals. But she was also like Leonard Cohen's chosen duet partner. And anytime
Okay.
he had a background vocal or a duet, he always got Jennifer Warnes. At least until he had another one later on. But Jennifer Warnes was his go-to. She was always there.
Kind of the same could be said about Emmylou Harris.
Exactly.
She's done duets with about every male singer in the world.
Yeah, and
female,
trio.
too.
She did the trio.
yeah, and she's the best background harmony singer maybe of all time.
Unmatched.
Because she could. I mean, but she had the duet with Roy Orbison. She had all sorts of great duets.
Oh, yeah.
I was looking at, I know Burt Bacharach, of course, wrote all these songs. He
Right.
played piano on a lot of songs, but it seemed like there may have been some vocal interaction with him and maybe Dionne Warwick or something like that. I tried to find that, and I thought, I found one thing, What the World Needs Now, you know, it was like, and Dionne was singing and he was kind of talking. I thought, I'm going to punt him off this list, even though I have great respect.
He did an album with Elvis Costello.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow, okay. And he was singing?
Well,
That's why I was
don't
kicking him
remember
off.
actually singing on that.
yeah, I don't know if I remember Burt Bacharach singing, but they wrote the songs together.
He sang something with Carol Bayer Sager at one time.
Okay.
I never thought. I never thought his voice was particularly good.
No.
So yeah,
No, when he was like chattering in between Dionne Warwick, it's just kind of, okay, shut up.
Yeah.
Just let her take the wheel. You play the piano and you do that so well, and you write great songs, but just don't talk.
Yeah,
So-
he was never on my list. You know, the one that hit me when I started thinking about my favorite duets is, and we talked about her before, is Lucinda Williams. She kind of became the hot duet person for a while.
Okay.
And she's got such a different voice.
Yeah.
But two of my all-time favorite duet songs. There's one with Steve Earle called "You're Still Standing There."
Okay.
And you know, when her voice comes in, it's like, oh wow, this is exactly what this needed.
Just choose her words up.
Oh yeah, and it's like he's got such a kind of weird voice anyway. You know, he kind of does the sort of same thing that she does. He kind of rolls it around his mouth before he lets it out.
Yeah. Well, and I was looking for that too, like when the vocalists, when they play off each other and either they dovetail or they swerve around and take each other in different directions. So I was looking for some kind of synchronicity or whatever where there's a distinct reason that those two voices work together.
Well, and this is the same thing with Lucinda's duet with Robbie Fulks called "Pretty Little Poison." They've got that same thing where it kind of goes off, but they have this line where he says, "Oh love, hold me tight between your knees," and she says, "Oh love, press my lips to your disease," and it's like,
How romantic.
no, it's one of my favorite love songs, and it's so sick. But their voices are perfect for that.
Okay, I don't know where we go from that. I also ruled out like a lot of groups that have like multiple singers, like Fleetwood Mac. You know, if you had Stevie and Christine or whatever, like singing together, it's like, well, they're all part of this group, so I'm not going to count that. Did you do that, John? Or no. Okay. And even like Beatles, if just two of them are down to do something or so that. And there used to be a lot of bands, like, I mean, Kate Pearson and Cindy Wilson are great every time they sing together, but they're part of a band. So, you know, the B-52s, so I wouldn't count that. ABBA, you know. Okay.
Yeah, so I did the same thing. I cut that.
Okay, well, we're kind of on the same page. The reason I threw out Olivia Rodrigo and Billie Eilish, besides I like to mention them every time, is that Olivia Rodrigo, we were talking about earlier, is that one of the great things about her is she has so much reverence for all of her predecessor musicians, and she studied them, and she has all their vinyl albums and all this stuff. And she's had the opportunity from her own success to perform duets with people and just like live stuff you'll see on YouTube. So there's a video I sent you guys of her with David Byrne doing "Burning Down the House," which is hilarious. And Billy Joel, they do "Uptown Girl," and then he does "Deja Vu," which is her song with her. Avril Lavigne, they do "Complicated," and even Chappell Roan with "Hot to Go." And I threw out Billie Eilish because there's a YouTube video of Billie Eilish with Debbie Harry of Blondie doing Peggy Lee's "Is That All There Is?" It's like, how can you go wrong?
Yeah.
So I do see both of them in the future doing duets, but I don't really have them on this list. My list. I'm sure you do. So where do we want to go? I can start with right now, or we can go back to the 1940s, was it? Or
You have
30s?
yours. See, I don't have mine by years or anything.
Yeah,
like that.
I know. I always have to kind of play it off with you. It's like I have to have some order, so I do chronological. But I know what's on here, so if I have to jump in and grab one.
Well, I kind of, when I started thinking about it, I thought about the most surprising ones.
Okay.
The ones that you didn't think would work that did work,
Okay.
and just some favorites. I mean, and the ones that people don't know about. I mean, I figured you're going to cover the big hits.
Not the older ones, not many of the older ones, but certainly recent ones.
Well, for the ones that people don't know about. Well, let me talk about the hit. I think about Linda Ronstadt and Aaron Neville with "Don't Know Much."
Yeah,
which kind of sparked a whole new phase of duets because that became a huge hit.
Okay.
And then people started doing a lot more duets after that because it was such a big success. Okay. But those were two voices that worked really well together. It was a big hit.
Who would think to put them together?
Right. And, Aaron Neville looks like a biker that's going to beat the hell out of you. Uh-huh. And there's little Linda Ronstadt.
Little Linda Ronstadt.
She's got a great voice, but, she's this pretty little thing.
Yeah.
And he's he's a handsome
Beauty
guy.
and the Beast, yeah.
Yeah, but he's a big guy.
Yeah.
And he's got the more delicate voice than she does.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I love her voice.
I do too.
She had a real distinct delivery, and I know she was popular because of her sex appeal or whatever. That could be we could do a podcast on that, just like people who were really sexy but still talented. You know?
Yeah. I mean, she was super cute. I saw her in concert. She was wearing a little Cub Scout uniform. And she was like
playing to fetishes, I'm sure.
Well, maybe, but she was cute as can be. But I mean, she
starts singing, it didn't even matter.
Yeah, she had a hell of a voice, and she could do anything with it. Once she went and started doing the pop standard stuff, it's like
that's kind of like phase 2 or phase 3 for a career of a lot of vocalists,
But she was kind of the first one to do that.
Oh, was she? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing that really
we need your history, we need your knowledge on this.
But yeah, that sparked a whole group of people doing pop standards again.
Okay.
I mean, Ringo started it, Nielsen did it, but it was Linda Ronstadt that made it popular.
Well, there was a phase, I think it was mostly in the 2010s, where a lot of the women pop artists had to have a rapper guest on her songs. And it was overused, and a lot of those didn't match. And they kind of drifted away from duets, but they're still going on. I mean, there's a summer song out right now between Maroon 5, Adam Levine, and Lisa of Blackpink, the K-pop group Blackpink. She was also played Mook in White Lotus 3. And she, the object of the affection of the security guard guy. Anyway, they have a song out called Priceless. And it's a romantic song, and they're kind of wooing each other and everything, but it's a little uncomfortable because he's old enough to be her dad, and it's I don't know. It's at some point, she's 28, so she's not like a, 18-year-old. And he's 46, but it's just a little too... I'll add this. Okay, so that's a summer hit right now. But in 2024, you had Rosé, also of Blackpink. These Blackpink women are duet, and Bruno Mars. They did that Aperture, that apartment song. Right. And it's just a real, there's flirtation there too, but Bruno's a little bit younger, just about 10 years older, and she's 28. And it's based on a Korean drinking song. So it's a real playful hit. And it was a huge hit. And it's half in Korean, too. So I don't know. But it was a duet. And it didn't bother me as much. But this one, it's when you get the guy's 20 years older or whatever, and he's wanting to romance this cute young, it's it's on the bubble. It's on that. I know Adam Levine, a lot of people think he's super hot and all that stuff. My favorite duet from last year, though, was Kendrick Lamar and SZA, who are only 3 years apart, so perfect, right? And it's called Luther, and it samples Luther Vandross, and it's real romantic. I think Kendrick Lamar is the greatest contemporary rapper that we have and has been for some time. And I love SZA. She's a great singer, but she's also got a budding career as an actress. And they did this song on the Super Bowl this year. A lot of people trashed his performance, but it was a lot of people who don't like rap music. And here we had a rapper as the main Super Bowl act. But they picked a good one, and that was a great song. And that's probably my favorite duet from the last few years. I don't know if I'm opening the door for you to say something, or do you want me to keep going?
Well,
I'll send my voice up until you answer.
On the more, I was never a fan of mixing rap with this stuff. And, I mean, the worst-case scenarios were always the rappers with the country artists.
Oh, well, yes, I don't know those. I know those happened. I thought, ooh, egad, I'd see the name, and the song and the artist, and no.
Those were awful, universally.
I'm sure they
I don't
were.
think they're... Well, the only thing that kind of worked was Lil Nas X and Billy Ray Cyrus.
Yeah. It was just so outlandish that it worked. Yeah.
That was one of the few times it's like, okay, this kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
It never made sense before.
Right.
And country music is where, it was always loaded with duets.
Right.
Because
that's true. I mean, always.
That was the things you had.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, you had George Jones and Tammy Wynette, and they had just tons of hits with duets. And they were, most of them were great. Two Story House and Golden Ring are the ones that stand out for most people. I think We Loved It Away is their best one. Mm-hmm. And then you got...
We Loved It Away?
We Loved It Away. It's a great song about, couples sticking together and, all these bad things that happened, but in each other's arms, we loved it away.
Okay.
Sweet, sweet song. And then you got Loretta Lynn and Conway Twitty.
Okay.
And they had two songs. They had tons of hit duets, but they had both of them written by Ellie White, who was a Knoxville guy. They had After the Fire Is Gone, which is a great, great song about breaking up. There's nothing as cold as ashes after the fire is gone.
Wow.
And then in contrast to that, they have a great duet with a song called You're the Reason Our Kids Are Ugly.
Wow. So charming.
But then you had Porter and Dolly, and, every great big, singer in the 60s just about had
Why
somebody
do you suppose
to do
it was
with.
that duets really resonated with the country audience?
I don't know. I do think that country is one of those places where the audience was about 50-50 as far as people listening to it. You had a lot of women listening to country music, and you had, I think you had some of the bigger female stars back then. It's come back again, but there was a big time where it was mostly male-dominated.
Yeah.
Well, and also I think a lot in the 60s part of country music, there were lots of variety shows, and so that lent themselves to these duets.
Yeah,
and,
that's true.
Like Johnny Cash and Bob Dylan. It was like you didn't normally put them together, but actually they were good friends.
Yeah, and, Johnny Cash and June Carter, they had tons of hits.
Mm-hmm. All right, two of my things made it. I was just afraid none of them were going to get over the hurdle.
Yeah, no, but
you want to throw some out there so we don't step on them before?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, mine are all like the Everly Brothers or
Sonny and Cher.
We'll talk about them.
Well, Captain and Tennille was the first one that just popped into my head.
Right.
And this is the way I do my research. It's like you tell me the subject and I just go, boom, just start just generating things. I'm not looking up anything. I'm not going to Wikipedia. Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney.
And I hated both those songs.
Oh, yeah, me too.
I hated them.
But they were not regular partners.
No. That's a good one to bring up. Those were huge hits, and I think they were awful.
The Doggone Girl Is Mine.
God, that's an awful song. God, that's an awful song.
Oh, it's horrible. So I had George Jones and Tammy Wynette and Johnny Cash and June Carter. I had Elvis Costello and Burt Bacharach.
Yeah.
She and Him. Zoe Deschanel and M. Ward.
Yeah.
John Prine and Iris DeMent.
Yep. Well, he did a whole album of duets too.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, and Emmylou Harris has done the same thing.
Yeah.
Probably multiple.
Well, tons of them. Yeah, tons of them have.
I had Sonny and Cher, Les Paul and Mary Ford.
Yeah, well, there you go. Look, it was John. John went back to the 50s.
Les what? And
it was John who went back to the 50s.
Les Paul and Mary Ford. Les Paul was a pioneer in multi-track recording. He had the second 8-track recorder ever made. And he originated overdubbing on itself, and he would also speed things up. And so he was a really fast guitar player, but he'd play it as fast as he could and then speed it up even more than that. So it just sounded like these weird space sounds.
So it was a guitar and a vocalist.
And his wife.
Okay.
Well, were they married?
I think they were.
I think. And he would multi-track her voice, too. So she had, like, multi-part harmony singing, and it's all her. So it's really unique. You should listen to Les Paul and Mary Ford.
Yeah, it's great stuff. And, the Les Paul guitar. I know you're a big guitar aficionado.
Yeah, I just love guitars. I I had a whole section of guitar duets.
Okay, all right.
But I thought I'm being too greedy here.
Well, there's a pretty good meme out there that's Paul McCartney and Les Paul standing there holding a Les Paul, and it's Paul and Les Paul hold Paul's Les Paul. Rodrigo and Gabriella, I thought that up when you thought of guitar duets.
I like those. I miss them.
I've seen them live a couple times.
Yeah.
Elton John and Kiki D.
Yeah, that was a big hit.
One hit, but it was a hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny, their history, I read that Elton John autobiography, and I didn't realize how far back their history went. They'd known each other a long time before they did that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I heard, I got the music in me, speaking of Kiki D, like months ago, and it was like, wow, this is really a good song.
Yeah.
I mean, she just knocked it out, you know.
I
Because I just knew her from Don't Go Breaking My Heart, which is, you know, kind of pop fluff song. But then she just like dug in and just like, wow.
Well, she opened for him, I guess it was the tour right before Caribou came out, after Goodbye Yellow Brick Road.
Okay.
And she was a great opening act. I thought she put on a really good show.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, they were a good duet. But you were talking earlier about the age inappropriate. There's also this is a little uncomfortable with like Frank Sinatra and Nancy Sinatra singing something
what did
stupid.
they
do? It's a romantic song.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Ooh, daddy and
And then
girl.
I go and spoil it all by saying something stupid like "I love you." And it was like, oh, this is a nice. Well, this is a little creepy.
Wait a minute.
I mean, it's not as creepy as the Kendalls. They were a group. It was a father and daughter group, and their big hit was "Heaven's Just a Sin Away."
Oh,
And
no!
it was really creepy.
Oh no!
Great,
I don't have
great
anything like
song.
that. Wayne Bledsoe, I'm ashamed of you.
It's a great song, but it's like there's something that kind of
something really wrong.
This feels wrong. But we also had, and this was like, they had one big hit together, but Carl and Pearl Butler, who were married, but they had "Don't Let Me Cross Over Love's Cheating Line," and it since they
Another father-daughter?
no, that was a husband and wife.
Okay, I got you.
So it works all right, but that's the one case where I said, okay, they were an act, but they kind of just brought Pearl in.
Okay. Well, I have some rap pop things that I think worked. I think you're right that a lot of them didn't work at all. But in 2022, "Karma" by Taylor Swift, she used Ice Spice, a woman rapper who's been coming around the last few years. And it was a low-key song, and their voices, it's almost like this kind of a woozy arrangement. And Taylor Swift is like getting revenge on a boyfriend who can't stop running his mouth and being stupid. And Ice Spice is just the perfect foil for that, because they're both just like weaving kind of a meditative song and talking about what karma is and how great Taylor Swift's life is. And at one point she goes, ask me what I've earned for all these tears. She's throwing out there, you beat me up and all that stuff, and emotionally beat me up, and now I've made so much money off of you and your trash behavior. So and Ice Spice was the perfect foil for that. Let's see, I've got some others on here. Well, I think Eminem. This is now I'm going out of order here.
Okay.
But Eminem and Rihanna in 2010, "Love the Way You Lie." I've talked about this song before, but Eminem is portraying like an abusive boyfriend or husband who just gets worked up, and then she comes in like, "You're just going to stand there and watch me burn, and you're just going to stand there and watch me cry, but that's okay." She's like the compliant abuse victim, and it's really kind of disturbing, and then Eminem winds up again, and she just comes back with her just piercing, like, "You're just gonna beat me up, and here I am, and I guess that's okay." And then he did another one 10 years before that called "Stan," and that was Eminem and Dido. And Dido has that real steady, she's like a UK singer. She's best known for White Flag, but Stan, Eminem was again portraying a man who can't control his temper. Imagine that shtick getting old. But anyway.
Grain of truth to that.
Yeah, but this time he's a fan, and he's not hearing back from the person, whoever he's the big fan of, and he's getting madder and madder and madder. And then they just weave in Dido just singing this la-di-da, kind of vocals. But both cases, it's like he had these really pretty women voices that were counterbalancing his, irrational testosterone overload, And I thought both of those songs worked really well.
Well, I've actually got one to add in here that was
Okay.
rap with a rock artist. Run DMC with Aerosmith.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Walk This Way.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that, revitalized Aerosmith.
It did.
And it gave Run DMC, a sort of an edge into the rock world. And it was great.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great song.
Yeah.
That's Rick Rubin.
Yeah.
That's who made that happen.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was very forward thinking. I was surprised when I saw it, and I was more surprised that I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess that comes with the surprising thing, because in the middle of all those surprising, hip-hop artists singing with a pop star, and it's like, oh, that didn't work. And, and it always sounds like they're on two different coasts, and it's very possible this is how they were recorded.
Yeah.
And they never even met each other, and it feels that way when you hear it.
Yeah, I
but
agree with that.
I bet Ariana Grande in The Weeknd, they hit one out of the park in 2014 with Love Me Harder, and they just played off each other. It's kind of a melancholy song, which captures the Weeknd vibe, because a lot of his songs are kind of sensual come-ons, but also there's a sadness to them. And Ariana kind of changed her usual kind of pop, vocal into something more melancholy also. And I just thought that song worked really well. I don't know, before I forget, I passed over Jaicabo, which is in Spanish, and it's a Marca MP, the California band. It's called the Mexican Regional Group, with Chato as their lead vocalist, and they sang with a California singer, Becky G, who also sings in Spanish. And the cool thing about that is it's a downbeat, bittersweet kind of song. And I don't know if this is the bando style or what. It's something Chester was telling me about. I didn't get all the details, but it has like a tuba is used as the bass line. It's kind of the bass rhythm.
I do that a lot in New Orleans music.
Okay. Well, this is anyway, that's called Jaicabo, which is Yacabo, and it's Marca MP and Becky G, California. They're not a duo, but they got together to sing that one. I guess I got to hit a powerful one here. 2009. This is iconic duet between Lady Gaga and Beyonce. You take two of the biggest icons, and it was Telephone.
Right.
I don't know if you remember,
Yep.
but it resonated everywhere. There was one of my favorite videos was like some soldiers in Afghanistan. They did. I don't know if you saw.
Oh, wait, I forgot all about
That
that.
was
I remember
hilarious.
that. Yeah.
It was like this kind of chunky guy, and he just had the best rhythm, And they were just doing the Lady Gaga and Beyonce, and the song is real powerful. They're both belting away, and it's a playful song too. That's the best part. It had been a demo by Britney Spears, but for some reason she didn't record it, so they made the most of it. It's like you don't miss Britney Spears doing it at all. But and the whole idea is they're out dancing with their friends, and their boyfriend or boyfriends are calling and just like bugging them, So it's like, stop calling, and and Lady Gaga's on the cliff. She goes, sorry, I can't hear you. I'm kind of busy. But then Beyonce's even better. She's got the, boy, the way you blowing up my phone won't make me come no faster. So,
Yeah.
what? What? Did I say something? No, did I? No. It wasn't that. No, she means come home. She's not going to leave.
okay.
I won't make
All
me
right.
come home no faster.
Okay.
Leave
Okay.
my friends no faster. So anyway, no. Yeah, we don't need that. Okay, anyway, we'll move on. So who else wants to do one while I'm recovering?
Well, I want to throw out some that I just think were, actually, before I do that, I want to say there's Meatloaf and Ellen Foley with Paradise by the Dashboard Light. Probably the longest duet to ever be a hit.
Yeah.
And, that one is so much fun. It's the video.
What is it she grills him with? Do you love me? You gotta do you love me?
Will you love me forever?
Will you
Do
love me
need
now? Will you love me forever?
Will you never leave me?
Yeah. A lot of demands.
Making promises.
But I think there's a lot of teenagers who could relate to that song.
Yeah.
But, that one has got so much energy.
Yeah, it does. It does.
And it's basically
And it builds, That's
yeah,
the,
and it's like a little opera.
yeah.
And it was a hit.
I mean, it's like 6 or 7 minutes long, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
It was out there.
Yeah, I think it's.
Didn't it have like a slow start or something? I don't know.
I don't. It doesn't have a slow start, but there's a lot of
It
changes.
just gets
in
more and more intense as it
Yeah.
goes.
Yeah, I mean they have that spot. You got to do what you can and let Mother Nature do the rest. And it's like,
It's got movements.
yeah. It's like I said, it's like a little opera, or at least a suite. But I thought that was one of the most surprising hits, and one I can't believe you haven't brought up yet, but I guess you may have gotten there. Is
How far back does it go?
well, it's Peter Gabriel and Kate Bush.
Yeah, that's the 80s. I'm not in the 80s. I'm still in the 2000s, Wayne.
Oh, sorry. Okay, all right. We're going totally
I
backwards.
will go back to that one.
All right.
I
you
will
talk
go
about
back to that one.
Okay.
Of course, it's Kate Bush.
Okay. All right. Well, I want to throw this one out. Lyle Lovett has done tons of cool duets, but the coolest is probably singing with Al Green on the David Letterman show, and they released that on the Live at Letterman album. And they do Willie Nelson's song, Ain't It Funny How Time Slips Away?
Huh.
And their voices, you wouldn't, just thinking it in your head, you wouldn't think their voices would sound so good together.
I love it. And who? I'm sorry, I missed that.
Al Green.
Al
Al Green.
Okay.
It's amazing. It is just terrific.
Huh.
And I mean, Al has that kind of smooth, suave thing that
He's
he
got
does.
a real high voice.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. He hits some of those high notes, and Lyle is down there, kind of holding down the bottom, and being just kind of cool. If you've not heard it, look it up on YouTube.
On YouTube?
Yeah, it's out there. It's on the Live on Letterman album, which is a great album.
I bet.
Yeah, and it has. I mean, you think about like Saturday Night Live, how bad the music performances generally were on Saturday Night Live.
They just like momentum killer every night, just about.
And it was the opposite on the David Letterman show. They were nearly always great. And that is one of the best of all time.
Yeah. You think Paul Schaefer was he curating who they had come on or anything like that?
I don't think he curated, but he's definitely worked out arrangements and stuff.
Yeah.
But, he had been...
I don't know who does that for Saturday Night Live. It seems like they just kind of turn it over to the artist.
Paul Schaefer had been the guy
was the
on Saturday Night Live when it started, but that first year, those first couple of years, the performances were great.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's when they had the B-52s and Elvis Costello and all these people on that were gave riveting performances.
Yeah.
And then he left.
And it's not even the performances are bad now. I mean, there's a lot of choreography and sets and stuff like that.
And bad lip syncing.
Yeah, well, that too. But it's just kind of like I've always had a problem with the music performance. Well, I don't remember the early days, live. But it's just like a big shift. You've got comedy, and then there's just this out of the left field song, that just kind of changes everything. And then suddenly it's back to comedy, then another song. And that flow doesn't work for me,
Well, I think it's best when they have the music acts actually get in on the comedy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
I mean, Frank Zappa, when he was on one of the skits.
Yeah. Even Justin Timberlake, he's done that.
And the one and this was a duet, but maybe one of my favorite musical moments on TV, period, was when Paul Simon and George Harrison sang Homeward Bound.
They did Here Comes the Sun.
And Here Comes the Sun on Saturday Night Live, and it was just, it was gorgeous.
Paul Simon, George Harrison.
Yeah.
Okay.
That shows up on YouTube. On my list pretty often it pops up because I watched it so many times. And it was such a sweet moment. They sounded so good together.
The comedian John Mulaney does a good bit about when he was a writer on Saturday Night Live, and Mick Jagger was on the show, and they were trying to get him involved in some of the comedy skits, and he would Dr. Pepper, and someone would put a Dr. Pepper in his hand, and John Mulaney would say a line, and he'd go, "Not funny, funny, not funny." It's a good bit.
Well, they've had something. The comedians, the music acts have done some pretty good things on there.
You just never know who's actually going to be funny, because some actors are hilarious that seem to be serious button-up actors, and some of them terrible. Just absolutely terrible.
What's the guy, the drummer for Red Hot Chili Peppers and Will Ferrell? Chad. They look almost identical, and they had was it on Saturday Night Live where they had a drum off? And Chad, God, what is his last name?
I can't think.
He's he's
Yeah.
a for real drummer.
Yeah.
And Will Ferrell, it makes a good game of it. But they do look almost identical.
Cool.
Well, I mean, when John Belushi, they had Joe Cocker on as their musical guest, and they had John Belushi pretending to be Joe Cocker, standing beside Joe Cocker. It was a classic moment.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Well, I got some slutty duets from the 20
let's
aughts.
do slutty.
And I can
Yeah,
do.
we're all about slutty.
My favorite, this is one you've not heard of, unless you remember when I mentioned it months ago, but it's Girl, I Told You. It's the singers Valeria and Aria. If you like sexy, flirty, dance electronica, it's these two women who just flirt with each other through the whole song. And the whole premise is that one of them is at home and the other one's coming to visit, and the one at home has to keep calling her dad and say what's going on and how it's just, it's all innocent, it's all innocent, it's all innocent. And then at the end she's like, Daddy, she's sleeping over, you know. So, but anyway, that's Girl, I Told You. If you like, and you don't, but if you like sexy, flirty dance music, but bigger hits, Promiscuous by Nelly Furtado and Timbaland from 2006. That had this great back and forth, give and take, and where they're flirting with each other and they're also cutting each other down, and it's kind of this game they're playing, and it's like they know they're going to go home with each other, but not without some wordplay and all that first. And it's great. It's got a great rhythm.
Does it feel like they were in the same room together when they recorded it?
Yeah, it certainly does. And then in public, I've mentioned this one several times, but I can't stop mentioning it. But it's Khalees and Nas. This is when they were a new couple. And, of course, Nas rap, and Khalees kind of has that growly, she's got this sexy, sexy voice, kind of growly song. And it starts out as this kind of sleek with a stalking rhythm, and she's just talking about, getting ready to get it on or whatever. And then he just slides in with with just this filthy proposition, and they just go back and forth. And it's all about having sex in public places and where they're going to go and where they're going to have sex. So, and great duet for that kind of thing. That was from 2003.
And that's who?
Khalees and Nas.
Nas, the rapper.
Yes, and Khalees, she did Milkshake. My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and their life is better than yours. You don't know that one? Oh, John,
You don't know that?
Missed that. Even Wayne knows that. That's a good one. It's
Funny. People were always making fun. I mean, people played with that song a lot.
Oh, yeah. It was like,
I hear what you're saying.
okay.
That doesn't make me.
That doesn't change it.
Doesn't change the fact that I've never heard it.
All right. I can get back to the 90s now, so if you're in your comfort zone. I'm still not back to the 80s, but I'm getting there.
Well,
I'll have a few 90s
Let me
songs.
see if I've got some of these I just can't remember what came out. I mean, one of my all-time favorite duets is Bonnie Raitt and Willie Nelson doing a song called "Getting Over You."
Okay. What's that about?
How bad could that be?
It's great. It's a Stephen Bruton song, and it has one of my favorite lines. It's you got to believe that there's a reason that we surrender our hearts, but there's a vantage point that it takes some time to find where you can see where all the pieces fit as you watch them fall apart.
Wow.
And man, it's just like they sing it together. And it's just a heartbreaker of a song. Stephen Bruton was a great songwriter, but
Yeah.
Now, who was that again? That's Willie Nelson.
Willie Nelson and Bonnie Raitt.
Bonnie Raitt.
And their voices blend really well.
She's got a sweet voice.
She's
really just smooth.
just for somebody just to hear them sing. I mean, Bonnie Raitt is one of those people that I could listen to them all night. She can sing anything, and she's a hell of a slide guitar player too.
And has been doing it for like 50 years.
Yeah, and her dad was a Broadway singer, John Raitt.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
98, The Boy Is Mine, Brandy and Monica, wildly successful song by two of the hottest R&B singers at the time. Did you have that one?
No, I was just writing out the.
It's like you're marking it. I was like, what?
I did run across that when I was looking up stuff for
Okay,
duets. And
all right.
I was like, yep, Chuck will mention that one.
Yeah, and Chuck just did. But it was a cool song. It was like a good play because it was like they started out as rivals because they realized they were dating the same guy, and then they kind of turned on him together. So that was good. And we talked about Michael Jackson a little bit, and he's done a lot of terrible duets. But I think the best one he did was in 95, and it was with Janet Jackson, and they did the song Scream. And it wasn't a huge hit considering the kinds of huge hits both of them were having. But you really, when you listen to it and you hear their voices, they're not the same, but you get that brother-sister dynamic. And it's a real angsty song, and it's kind of rockish and everything. So
Not cringy, though.
no,
Not
I don't
brother,
think it
sister
is. No. They're it's just talking about how tough life is and how you just want to scream, and all that stuff. And it's rockish and electric. And I was glad. I don't think at that point I'd given up on ever seeing them do a song together because and he had the band with his brothers and all that. And I think she may have, like when she was a kid, like had been part of some of that. But she was well established by '95 as her own person, and it was good. And it seemed he was like a little more relaxed, or not relaxed, but I don't know. That you could get the family dynamic, and it felt real. So, and a lot of things about Michael Jackson never felt real.
Well, I remember that song, and I do think their voices sound good together. I didn't particularly like the song itself.
No, it's not a great song. I should say, it's not a great song, but it's kind of like a moment in history where this amazingly successful brother and sister as soloists actually got together and did a song. Well, and they both kind of got out of their comfort zone for it, even though she did more rockish things than he did.
Well, one of my favorite singers she's popular in Canada, but not a lot of people know her here, Jill Barber. She did an album with her brother, Matthew Barber. And I like the whole album. But when you hear them sing together, that's a thing you get. You hear that similarity.
Yeah.
There's something just really sweet about that.
Yeah. And they, harmony. When they sang together, when Michael and Janet sang together, you heard it's like, wow, they're brother and sister. I get it now.
Yeah.
Well, their vocal cords share genes.
Yeah.
They're going to sound similar.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, you listen to go back to the old, like the Stanley Brothers and people like that, and there's just nothing that touches that kind of sound, that sibling harmony.
Right.
There was a group called the Whitstein Brothers that were a bluegrass act. And man, when they would hit some of those harmonies, it was just like it'd send chills up your spine.
And the Osmonds, I'm sure that.
Oh yeah, they it was I got goosebumps, but it was that kind of goosebump before you throw up for the Osmonds.
Well, that was before Jimmy joined, right?
Oh,
we're
Jimmy
not talking
and
about the
Killer Joe.
I can't talk. I can't do that.
Yeah, I mean, I still have nightmares about being, the age when the Osmonds were popular.
Yeah, wow, that's something. I want to talk about shift gears a little bit. 91, Calling All Angels with Jane Seabury and Katie Lang.
Yep.
That is one of the most beautiful ballads. Calling All Angels. They both have these angelic voices, and the way they go back and forth. It's just, every time I hear it, I could almost cry, hearing it, hearing the chorus. And Wim Wenders used it in his film Until the End of the World with William Hurt. And so it played off of that. And I don't know, it was just such a, in the beginning, they're just like naming off angels together and talking. And it's just this, and it's all about like, you're calling any resource you can, any kind of, angel support or whatever to get you through something dark, and you just feel the heaviness of it, and yet you feel the beauty of it at the same time.
But Katie Lang, I mean, she did a lot of duets back in the day, and she had one of those, she was one of those singers that seemed to intuitively know how to blend with somebody. Of all the people who sang with Tony Bennett, sang duets with him, I think she was the best partner of people who were much younger than him to sing with him.
I heard some of the Lady Gaga, Tony Bennett, but he was already out of it by then. That was kind of tough.
Well, they all kept going longer. I mean, Sinatra recorded at least 2 and maybe 3 albums of duets right before he died. And those albums...
He didn't even know who anybody was.
Those albums were top sellers.
Yeah.
But they sucked. Yeah. Everybody was putting them on their best of the year lists and all this stuff. And it's like, you just do this because you want to put Sinatra up there.
Sentimental.
Yeah, but they were terrible. And, he did a couple of songs with Bono, and it was like... Normally Bono would be my least favorite part of the song, but this time it was like Sinatra. It was like,
you just can't quit beating up on you too.
Well,
sounds like a little passive aggressive behavior at home. We need to get investigate if you're doing that.
The way back from the beach, Sarah put on some like old things that her mom used to listen to, and she started putting on Bread, and I said nope. I said, I'm sorry.
Draw the line. Can she draw the line too, though? I mean,
Okay.
Right.
There's plenty of things that she can draw the line.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, but it was funny because it's like, there's a bridge too far, and bread is it.
Yeah.
She didn't. Baby, I'ma Want You wasn't on there, but Baby, I'ma Want You is the worst.
Yeah.
I'ma Want You. I mean, just the title.
David Gates.
Yes, Baby, I'ma Want You to get a grammar dictionary.
I'm a want you.
Yeah.
When my grandmother, my mother's mother, died and went through a record collection, they were almost all easy listening. I got some really great box sets of
Sure.
easy listening
Yeah.
music that is in pristine shape, but the one sort of rock and roll adjacent album that she had was the best of Bread. And we all made fun of her. She'd put that on and that little
Yeah,
so sappy.
it's terrible. Thank goodness Bread didn't do more duets.
I got my favorite Prince duet,
Okay.
which is Sheena Easton,
Oh,
You
yeah.
Got the Look. And one of the things about that, you got to watch the video to that. Go back and look at it now. Because, and I don't like instrumental passages and breaks and all that. It has about a minute and a half of just building up. And Sheila E's running the show. And the video is like they're at the Moulin Rouge, supposedly, and Prince is performing, and Sheena Easton's some super celebrity who's showing up. But you got Sheila E is like just the groove and the rhythm, it just builds and it just builds, and you're just like, you can't wait for them to start singing. And Prince, you know, he did several different duets, and he had a lot of women that he worked with, but in general, they weren't vocal powerhouses.
Right.
And to have Sheena Easton come in and just belt away, you know, because that's what you remember when you remember that song. It was a Prince song and well constructed and all kinds of beautiful parts there. But you just remember that really powerful, you got the look, coming out of her voice, you know, and it was just, I don't know, it just watching it, it was just kind of so much of its time, and all these sexy people, and they all gather around Sheena Easton, and they're all pointing at her saying, you got the look and all that. And I don't know, it was just strutting. It was just like a total mid-'80s sexy Prince with sexy people, you know, song. And
But you know,
it's just the rhythm. And Sheila E. really made the song,
Yeah.
even though she wasn't, you know, like, she didn't sing in it.
But it's funny because, I mean, Prince is such a great artist and a great singer, but I don't think he's a great duet guy.
No.
It's like Elton John. Elton John had a whole album of duets.
Yeah.
And I don't think
Yeah,
Elton
I was
John,
trying to think, what are the great, I mean, Don't Go Breaking My Heart was okay, but
that's the best.
a lot of the other stuff, you know, whatever.
Yeah. But again, on that song, it's Kiki D who's carrying it.
Yeah.
And-
it wouldn't have worked without her.
Yeah, and I mean, I love Elton John, but I don't think he's a good duet artist.
Just a narcissist. He didn't share this.
No, I don't think it's that. I think that some people just have a style that doesn't easily blend with other people. It's the opposite of K.D. Lang, who can adapt to anything. I don't think Elton John can. I think he's great in his own right.
Or Kenny Rogers, opposite of Kenny Rogers, because he was, you know, and
Yeah.
we always talk about Islands in the Stream, and it was such a
great song.
electric song, and you had these two different vocals
Yeah.
and everything. But one song I really liked by him, and I don't know if you did, but it was "Don't Fall in Love with a Dreamer" with Kim Carnes,
Yeah.
because they had matching vocals. So with Dolly and Kenny, it was like these opposite kind of voices that were working together. And with Kim and Kenny, it was like these two gravelly voices. And it was more of a pain song, too. And I don't know. I just thought that was 3 years before Islands in the Stream. That was 1980.
But again, with classic country singers, and I mean, Kenny Rogers actually came from rock before he was country. I think they know how to blend with each other better and adapt.
Yeah.
And I mean, Dolly can sing with any. She's got one of the most distinctive voices of all time.
She does.
Yep.
But she can blend with anybody.
Yep.
That's one of the things that's so strong about her is she knows when to back off.
Yeah.
And other people don't.
No, they do their style. And
Right.
Dolly's like testing it out and figuring, how's my voice going to work best with this voice?
Yeah, and it does. I don't
does.
care who
It
she
always
sings
does.
with.
Yeah.
It works. It's a little bit like Emmylou, but I mean, Emmylou is like, I mean, she's the master.
Her voice is so textured.
Yeah.
Well, I'm still in the 80s here. 85. This is Annie Lennox, Aretha Franklin. Sisters are doing it for themselves. These are the two of the most dynamic women belters in the history of popular music, R&B music, all that. And it's a feminist manifesto. And, I mean, it's technically Eurythmics with Aretha Franklin, but I just think Annie Lennox, Aretha Franklin, bang, you know. It was like that was from 85. Two legendary belters doing a feminist song. How am I not going to like that?
Well, and it's a great song. I mean, it's a lot of fun.
And also, I don't know how you all feel about this because I'm not really fond of the guy, but Leather and Lace with Stevie Nicks and Don Henley. It's treacly in a way, and I know you guys aren't the biggest Eagles fans in the world necessarily, but Stevie is so distinctive in that song that she just carries it to me. He could have been replaced with somebody else, but I like hearing, because she's such an eccentric kind of oddball type that I always picture in a bubble by herself when she's doing solo songs. But that song's like, oh, she's opening up, and she's like got another voice that she's working around, and that was
I think that her best duet is "Stop Dragging My Heart Around." It's outside.
It's okay, but I think Leather and Lace plays more to her.
Yeah.
And her character, because she is lace, she's lacy and all that stuff. So.
Yeah. Well, "Stop Dragging My Heart Around" is more of a Tom Petty than it
exactly.
is.
It's definitely a Tom Petty song.
Yeah, she's like the part B, and he's the lead, and then Leather and Lace, she's kind of the lead.
Yeah. She did when I saw Tom Petty at Bonnaroo that year. I
saw that show,
and she came out as a guest. It was great because she's like the whole crowd just goes nuts.
Oh yeah.
Well, and I saw her do a set at Bonnaroo just a couple of years ago, and I was expecting her to be worn out and done, and she was fantastic.
Huh.
Still got it, and told great stories, and just really vivacious.
That's good to hear.
Yeah. The schmaltziest song that I dared to put on here, and it's schmaltzy as all get out, but it's Lionel Richie and Diana Ross, "Endless Love," 1981. I thought it was okay, then I hated it. And over time, I've kind of softened on it. And it's like, that was really, for what it was. Sometimes you just love somebody and they love you back. And that can be celebrated too. It doesn't always have to be struggle and pain. So,
Yeah.
Well, and you just forget what a hit-making machine he is.
Lionel Richie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he
you
has
knew
written
Diana Ross.
so
But
many
you look
hits.
at his catalog, it's good Lord, what a ton of songs. Yeah.
And he looks great. We saw him live just like 4 years ago, and we were getting there just like 5 minutes after he'd started, and he was playing "Easy Like Sunday Morning," and I was like, he's starting with that.
Also Lionel Richie. Yeah.
And he just went from hit to hit to hit to hit, and he had all of Bonnaroo singing "We Are the World."
Yeah.
And it was incredible.
Yeah. And I'm going to go back I've got one song from the 70s, and that's only one. And I don't know why I like this song, but "You Don't Have to Be a Star" by Marilyn McCoo and Billy Davis.
Yeah, I like that one. I thought
I was thinking of that
good.
song today, but I couldn't think of who the other guy was.
Yeah, that was, I guess, her husband. They're from the Fifth Dimension.
Yep.
And
Marilyn McCoo and who?
Billy Davis Jr.
Billy Davis Jr. I knew it was Billy something on my drive home. I was like, Billy, is it Billy? I was like, maybe it's Jimmy.
Yeah.
No.
And it's a simple song. It's just, you don't have to be a star to be in my show and everything. But she has such a sweet tone in her voice, that I just really, to be such an old song, and maybe, I guess I heard that one when I was a kid, and it's just like, I like that. I like that song. He's got a good voice too, but hers is just is so endearing and loving, so.
It's funny, I interviewed them, and you get that quality that's in their music talking to them, because they seem like super nice people.
Yeah.
They seem to still be really in love.
Oh, that's awesome.
Respect each other. I mean,
We need a few people like that.
And they were Fifth Dimension?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and God, I always liked the stuff they did.
Yeah.
I just love the sound of the name Marilyn McCoo.
Marilyn McCoo.
You haven't mentioned Nick Cave and
I didn't mention Don't Give Up.
Well, you didn't mention that
my
one, but
God.
there's another one.
Oh, Nick Cave and Kylie Minogue?
Yeah.
Oh, you do the Nick Cave and Kylie Minogue.
Well, they do. It's a murder ballad.
Murder ballad, yeah.
Off the Murder Ballads
And
album.
everybody, all the Kylie Minogue fans were like, what?
But
I'm sure the Nick Cave fans were like, what? Kylie Minogue.
But it works.
Yeah.
It's an old murder
she had
ballad.
the right voice for that.
And at the time, I mean, now people know that Nick Lowe can sing really sweet songs and great love songs and stuff. But back then, it was like
Nick Cave.
What did I say? Nick Lowe.
Nick Lowe.
Oh yeah, I love.
You said
Lowe.
Nick Cave to
I
start
love Nick
with.
Lowe.
I love Nick Lowe too, but yeah, Nick Cave. I mean, he has had such a dark reputation. And everything. It's like every song was about murder and mayhem.
And I think
everything.
at that point, Kylie was still just like pop star.
She was,
a cute Australian pop star sitting down to do a murder ballad.
Yeah. But I remember I reviewed that album and I got to that song. It's like, whoa. This is a little different.
Yeah.
But of course it is about death, but it's still really, really pretty.
Right.
And it was a surprise. Came out of nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I skipped over Don't Give Up after telling you to shut up and let me do it.
Yeah, you told me to shut up.
But that was 1986. So it was between You Got the Look and Sisters doing it for themselves.
Who are we talking about now?
Peter Gabriel and Kate Bush,
Okay.
Don't Give Up. And he's got this really grim verses that he sings, and he's this man at wit's end, and he can't get work, and he doesn't have money, and he's giving up on everything. And all of her choruses are "Don't give up," "You're among fans, we love you," and then he goes sad again. So it's like talking someone out of a depressive state. But the beautiful part to me, and again another part that could make me cry, is the bridge when because usually in the chorus, which is her responsibility, she goes, "Don't give up," you're not alone, blah blah blah. But there's it kind of goes into this almost gospel like song because the piano comes in. And, she's saying, and she goes, "Don't give up. You worry too much."
Yeah.
And it's just so touching. And then he plays off of that too. And they're both doing like a spiritual for about 30 seconds. And then they settle back down into the, he's like, he's got to pull it together. And she goes, "We don't need much, And
You remember the video for it?
Yeah, the video is it's the two of them holding each other. And they're on a spinning platform. And whenever it spins around to Peter Gabriel, that's when he's singing. You see the back of her head, and then it spins around to her. You see the back of his head, and she sings, and they're just like holding and hugging and all that. And an eclipse is all you see in the background, and it comes, and right before she goes into that kind of spiritual thing, then the full eclipse passes, and you start seeing the sun come back out. It's a real simple premise, I guess, but it's just well done, and their voices play together, amazingly well. And that's one of her, and she doesn't do many duets at all, and it's just amazing to hear her just tap in. And did you know that his first choice, or the record company's first choice for that, was Dolly Parton to do the Kate Bush part?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'd like to hear that,
and
too.
I guess she just couldn't, or something like that. And I'm sure that would have been good as well.
I would have been. I mean, I really like the one with Kate Bush, but I'd love to hear how Dolly would have handled it.
I imagine that I played it. At first, I thought, no, but it's Kate. I love you, Dolly, but that's Kate. And I played through with Dolly. I thought, Dolly would do a great job with that too. So,
yeah. Well, it's funny. There was that little period of time where country people and rock people were doing stuff together, and they do that now, but now country is not country. But one of my favorites is on the Ricky Skaggs Live in London album. He brings Elvis Costello out, and they duet on "Don't Get Above Your Raisin." And it's so much. I mean, they don't really.
Ricky Skaggs and who?
And Elvis Costello.
Elvis Costello. Okay.
And I mean, that's when Elvis Costello was just. That was before he had done everything he wanted to do, and he was just still kind of a rock and roll, new wave punk guy. Mm-hmm. And their voices don't really blend, but their energy does.
Okay.
So it works because of that.
Yeah. I've just got a few songs that I've thought were flops that I've kind of softened a little bit on. I can talk about those, but otherwise, I don't know how we're doing on time, but
I got a few more, Chuck.
Oh no.
Not that many, but I've got some stuff you haven't,
Well, you don't do yours in time order, so that's
no,
like,
I don't.
Okay. Well, we gotta click through this.
All right. You want me to go?
Go ahead, and I'll do the three others.
All right. Songs that you may have never heard, duets, and that were surprised me completely.
Okay.
There's a woman named Lori Carson. She released an album called Shelter. It was produced by Hal Wilner, who's one of the great freaky producers of all time. Mm-hmm. He got Greg Allman to sing a duet with her.
Okay.
It is beautiful. It's a song called Imagine Love, and it's about, regrets of like a love affair, and they're imagining like the best parts, and imagine love is always waiting for us where we left it. Clothes in a room with pillows strewn about and bedding left unmade.
Okay.
And
I like a made bet.
but you hear her voice, and she's got this kind of sweet kind of a little girl twist to her voice, and then you hear his really deep, gruff voice come in, and it's beautiful. I mean, it's a heartbreaking song when you listen to it, but it's mostly because something about the two of them, the contrast just works really, really well.
All right.
Where would you find this song?
I'm sure it must be on YouTube.
It's got to be on
but
streaming or YouTube.
I mean, is it on an album?
Yeah, it's on an album called Shelter. It's been out of print for years. It was on, I think it was on Geffen. It was on Geffen or...
Credited to her?
Yeah, Lori Carson. And it's a terrific one to look up. Ben Folds and Regina Spektor.
Ben Folds?
Yep.
Okay.
They do You Don't Know Me.
And Regina Spektor. Okay.
Yeah, they were like...
I know those two.
they're big. Well, they're big buddies.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
And they've done some stuff together, but that's one that stands out. That's just great.
All right.
And I mean,
What's it called?
It's called You Don't Know Me.
Okay.
And I can't remember which album it's right off, but you can find it any place. It's really good. Wilco and Feist.
Okay.
They do a song called You and I, and that's on I think
Okay.
it's just on the album, just called the Wilco album or whatever it is.
Okay.
And it's a really good one.
I imagine.
Tom Waits became like a thing for, doing duets with Tom Waits became a thing for a while. He did a duet with Bette Midler called I Never Talk to Strangers, a song he wrote, which works really well.
She's done her share of duets.
Well, she does one with Bob Dylan. She did a version of Buckets of Rain, which is really good. And he seems more comfortable than he sings with other people.
Huh.
I think that she was so crazy about him. I mean, obviously he could tell.
Yeah.
And he's having fun with it, and it's one of his songs. And Tom Waits, back on Tom, he and Crystal Gale did an entire album for the movie One from the Heart.
Okay.
And those are two voices you would not think work well together, but they do. It's all Tom Waits.
Even imagining putting them.
Yeah, no.
It works.
Huh.
And
Or who wrote the songs?
Tom did. I think they're all Tom's songs. And a lot of people don't rate it very highly, but I've always thought it was great. They do a lot of really, really good songs on it. Nancy Griffith and Mac McAnally. They do Gulf Coast Highway. Mac McAnally's mostly known as a songwriter. He was in Jimmy Buffett's band. But, of course, Nancy Griffith died several years ago. She was a great Americana artist. And one of my all-time favorites, Kirsty MacColl and Shane MacGowan doing Fairy Tale of New York, my favorite Christmas song.
Yes, I know.
Absolutely
I know.
gorgeous.
Yes.
And then we haven't mentioned Queen with David Bowie, Under Pressure, which is great.
Good song.
Okay, I got one more
Wrap it up.
weird, surprising one. Alice Cooper and Donovan. And it's the title track on the album Billion Dollar Babies.
Okay.
And you hear Alice come in, doing the song, and then all of a sudden, here comes Donovan out of nowhere. And he's just having fun with it, and that's what's so good about it. Even though it's dark, it's Halloweenish, but Donovan is singing about $billion babies, or babies with their heads chopped off, or whatever it is.
All right.
Well, I just thought of this one more. Susanna Hoffs and Matthew Sweet did a whole series of albums of covers.
Yep.
But they're singing together.
Yeah.
And Matthew Sweet, Heal Up.
That counts. That totally counts.
Sure. All right, the flops. 2010, E.T. by Katy Perry and Kanye West. This came out when I wasn't fond of Kanye, and I was kind of tired of Katy Perry. And it was, they were very disjointed from each other, and it starts and ends with Kanye doing his thing. And then she's trying something different, and I hated it, and I couldn't believe it was a hit. I've gone back and listened to it, and it's like, well, they still are disconnected, but for Kanye, it wasn't bad, and it kind of works because they're not singing together. And for Katy, it was her doing something different, and I appreciated it now because she'd been doing, the same kind of poppy stuff, and so not as bad. In 1989, Love Song, that was a big ballyhooed duet between Prince and Madonna, and people just forget it even happened.
I forgot it.
Yeah, and it was so understated that I I think it just got lost in the sauce. You know, it's like Prince. I barely remember him. I remember Madonna kind of being subtle and sort of a low slung groove. And I thought, well, that's a disappointment back then. I listened to it now. It's like, okay, that's not as bad as I thought. And then finally, 85, Dancing in the Streets with Mick Jagger and David Bowie.
Oh, it's awful.
It's the song's pretty terrible, and the video is horrendous. But they did it as a fundraiser for Live Aid, so they were just trying to turn some bucks for a good cause. And I was like, all right, I'll give them a pass on that. They just did something to make money. So those are three that I held in low esteem that now I hold in slightly less low esteem.
Well, I got one more.
All right.
One more to
ready
add.
to move to recommendations.
Anne Murray and Dave Loggins, Nobody Loves Me Like You Do.
Okay.
Which was it went to number one on the country charts. There's a little interesting history. It was recorded first by Jermaine Jackson and Whitney Houston.
Wow.
Okay.
Before Whitney Houston was a name.
Right. Oh, wow. Okay.
But Dave Loggins, who had of course, a hit with Please Come to Boston. I've talked about Dave many times.
Yep.
But it's the only case where somebody had a number one hit and they did not have a record contract.
Wow.
Anne Murray had a record contract, but Dave Loggins did not.
Wow. Cool.
And they got all sorts of awards and went to number one, and it's pretty cool.
All right.
Did Dave get a record deal out of that?
He didn't want a record deal. He'd already had record deals. He just wanted to keep writing music, and I guess I think I asked Anne Murray about it, how that happened, but I think it was just that he was around, and she thought, I love his voice.
All right. You got a recommendation.
All right. I'm going to, because I just mentioned Alice Cooper, I'm going to recommend Alice Cooper's album, Love It to Death.
Okay.
Which was the breakthrough album by Alice Cooper, released in, I believe it's 1971, and it includes the hit 18,
Okay.
which broke him through. Bob Ezrin.
Is that about some woman being 18 years old?
No.
It's about being 18.
Yeah.
Oh, about being 18. Okay. Well, that's okay.
I got a baby's brain and an old man's heart. Took 18 years to get this start. But it's when you listen to it, you will recognize what a great band Alice Cooper was. This is, even though Vincent Furnier, which is Alice Cooper's real name, went by the name Alice Cooper, it was the band Alice Cooper.
Okay.
And the original band were just rock and rolling like nobody's business.
And they were signed by Zappa's label.
They were originally on Straight Records with
Straight,
Zappa, and they actually woke up Zappa one morning because his babysitter was girlfriends with one of the band members, and said, well, he said to come by at 11, and they came by at 11 in the morning and woke him up, and he said, okay, just give me a few minutes, and they set up and they auditioned for him, and he signed them. Actually, they did a showcase after that, and everybody in the audience walked out, and he said, that's the band I'm going to sign. But Bob Ezrin became the producer for Love It to Death, and he was a young guy from Canada that was just finding out how to do it, and he started producing them, and they became a great, great band.
Went on to be a really great producer.
Yeah, and he did. They produced The Wall and
Kiss.
Yeah, all sorts of great stuff. So anyway, that is
music?
It's a good one.
I do. Well, I'll tell you about how I got on this journey after we're finished. But
Okay.
I've been on a listening journey, listening to 70s prog rock.
Uh-huh.
Do you know what prog rock, what I mean by that? I mean, the most famous probably is Yes. They were also kind of lumbering dinosaurs of rock that punk rock was a reaction to, but there were a lot of really good bands in the prog rock, and I've been listening to several, but one I was listening to last night, it's called The Power and the Glory by Gentle Giant.
Okay, Gentle
And
Giant.
It's, it has the excesses that a prog rock album would have, and the saving grace, I think, is the drummer, because they'll go out and do all their little fancy shenanigans, and then all of a sudden he'll lock them all in with just this really funky beat. He's surprisingly funky for a pasty white Englishman. But it's The Power and the Glory by Gentle Giant.
All right.
Enjoy.
All right. I'm going to go to 1997 album Dig Your Own Hole by the Chemical Brothers.
Okay.
And that's a UK duo of Ed Simmons and Tom Rowlands. They're not brothers. But this was a pivotal album in the big beat movement in electronica, which was chaos and aggression and all this stuff. And it brought it to the mainstream. They won Grammys and everything. The first track, Block, Rock, and Beats, that's kind of an introduction that can give you what the big beat movement was. But the big song I want to focus on is this explosive single called Setting Sun. Mm-hmm. This is one of the most compelling songs I've ever heard. Okay, now for the background on it, they brought in Noel Gallagher of Oasis to be their vocalist for it, and he brought some Oasis videos, some song lyrics that he had written for an unpublished, unreleased Oasis song. So he brought those to the mix, and I think it's his best vocal delivery on anything, better than anything he did on Oasis. And the song itself is just chaos. It's like, and it's influenced by the Beatles. Tomorrow Never Knows. You know, the drums in Tomorrow Never Knows. They take that and just like pump it through a cocaine or something. It's just like over the top, this adrenaline. It's like, and the song's kind of about losing oneself and consciousness and everything at a rave. It all comes together well. It's not just random chaos or anything like that. You got Noel and doing this great vocal, and you got the Beatles influence. It wasn't a theft of Beatles. They ran it by lawyers,
right.
And said, no, this is fine. You're just influenced by it. But it's that one song, Setting Sun, is like being jacked up to near death and riding a roller coaster through burning hell with a lap full of venomous snakes. It's just, and I saw someone said,
that's a great description.
I saw someone on Reddit, they said, this is still the most insane number one I've ever heard. So in that song, and it was my favorite song for that year, and it was just like, so just over the top. So, and like I say, it's got the little Beatles influence. You might hear a little Ringo, because Ringo, I think, was kind of discordant, or something was off about his beats purposely off in that song.
Yeah, I always thought that he played it and then they played it backwards.
Yeah,
but,
well, and that's how this song kind of ends too. Setting Sun. The album is Dig Your Own Hole, and it's the Chemical Brothers.
But I was about to say, but I don't think he actually did play it backwards. I think he's actually drumming that way, and it sounds that way.
Yeah. Well, he's kind of a lazy drummer anyway. He's almost always behind the beat.
Well, and you know that it had that, you know, it's from Revolver album, right? 66.
Yeah, it's the finale
so it's
of Revolver.
Psychedelic a little bit and all that going on too.
Well, he was left-handed, but he played a right-handed drum kit, which means that he led all of his rolls with the opposite hand a right-handed drummer would.
Right.
And that made all his rolls kind of lazy and behind the beat, which is trademark of his sound.
Yeah, but it's my favorite Beatles song now, and it is. Yeah, and the drums are amazing.
Yeah.
It's just it's.
Well, you can hear it in the. I mean, like with Chemical Brothers, they've got like siren type things going on, and just crazy like horns, and then there's synthetic stuff too. But it's just like overwhelming, you know. But at the same time, if that's what you want. When I wanted it that year, I don't know what was going on with me.
And what year was that?
97.
Okay, cool.
All right, movie.
Well, because we
or
just
TV or whatever. Because
we just mentioned it. We just talked about Bob Ezrin. I want to recommend the movie The Wall from 1982. That's the Pink Floyd album, dramatized by director Alan Parker, and it's still got like cartoons with Gerald Scarf's artwork that was all over the album, and it is, I think, the best of all the adaptations of a rock album or a rock opera to a movie. It's depressing as all get out.
Sure.
But Bob Geldof, who had never acted before, does a great job as the main character. They don't mess up the music like they do so much of the time. It's still Pink Floyd playing it. It sounds like the album for the most part. But if you've never seen it, see it on the biggest screen you can see it on, and the best stereo, the best sound system you can get.
So don't watch it on your phone.
No, do not watch it on your phone.
Okay.
But it holds up, and it really is great. I mean, it's hard to watch more than once every few years because it's a depressing trip.
Right.
But it's really, really good.
Okay.
Yeah, Pink Floyd's attention to detail in terms of atmospherics it just lends itself to video.
Yeah, and Alan Parker's a good director anyway, and it was just kind of a natural fit.
All right, John.
New movie. It's on Netflix, and this is the reason I have just gotten back from the music festival Bonnaroo, which I rode my bicycle 150 miles to get there, and we had one night of music, and then it started raining.
Lots of
and
rain.
It turned into a mud fest.
Did you have to bike back in the rain?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
No, we never ride back.
Oh.
But at any rate, the festival is run by Live Nation, and there's a movie just released on Netflix called Trainwreck, the Astroworld Tragedy. And Astroworld was a concert festival put on by Travis Scott, the rapper. And this past year's edition, and it just happened several months ago, they had two stages, and all of the acts were on one stage, and then Travis Scott had the other stage just to himself.
Oh.
And at the headline act, and the crowd came over to the other stage, and there were a whole bunch of people just got trampled and crushed. And there were like 9 people trampled to death.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was really poorly designed, and that was a Live Nation thing too. And there were people doing CPR, and they were up there still performing, and people were jumping all over the place, and didn't even stop the show.
Oh my God!
And it really does not point a good finger at Live Nation.
Yeah,
And they're the
I think Travis Scott knew what was happening too, didn't he? I mean,
he had some idea, but not really.
Yeah, he's kind of got a mark against him because of that.
Yeah, but it's pretty sobering and makes you think about big band festivals and crowd control, and because one of the people interviewed in there is a event safety organizer, and he said, I really wish they had consulted me before the thing happened, because I can see exactly, the exits are in the wrong places, and the audience is aimed right at this one segment that had fences so you could go around the other side, but most of them all went there and just packed it in there.
Horrible.
That's just what a nightmare. Anyway,
All right.
Trainwreck, the Astroworld story, tragedy.
Okay. I saw The Life of Chuck. Of course, I had to go see The Life of Chuck in theaters. I don't know if it'll still be in theaters when this comes out. It's directed by Mike Flanagan, who's done a lot of horror films.
Yep.
And it's based on a 2020 novella by Stephen King. But it's not really a horror. There's an element of like metaphysics and string theory and such like that in there. So there is some, I don't want to say supernatural, but not horror, but element in it. And it's told in 3 chapters, and it starts with the last chapter, which is good because it's kind of depressing. But it's kind of, I don't know how to get into this, but it stars Tom Hiddleston as the Chuck, the adult Chuck.
Right.
And it's got everyone from, Chiwetel Ejiofor. And Matthew Lilliard's in it, and Mark Hamill's in it, Mia Sara. Nick Offerman is a narrator in it, and Jacob Tremblay plays like this teen version of Chuck. And it's hard to explain. And this Jacob Tremblay, this kid, is amazing. He can tell there's so much soul in his eyes, and he's the part of Chuck's life where he experienced the most loss and tragedy and trying to find his soul and everything. And it's kind of based on Walt Whitman, like, I contain multitudes. There's sort of this idea of interconnectedness, and you're kind of wondering, Act 3 ends with sort of this is odd, but it's just basically we all have our own universe in our own heads. And this Chuck guy was determined to live a good life and to make the most of it despite what he went through and despite what he faces in Act 3. And when it goes back to 2 and to 1, it's actually life affirming. It's not too caught up in it's not like What the Bleep Do We Know, which was just totally all about quantum physics and stuff like that. But it definitely has a metaphysical edge, and it's not trying to make a hard case, and it doesn't even explain everything. And it comes... Stephen King's really good at character development and such, and he's older now. And this is like the kinds of things that when older people look back on life, it's cool, even if you're not as old as that, to look at it and think, what is life all about? And it doesn't answer that, but it just proposes some theories, and it just makes you. It really made me think. It was very moving and mostly life affirming.
Huh. So I'm definitely going to see that.
That's all I can say.
Sounds like something we all need to see.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. And we can talk about what the hell happened.
I got to tell you real quick.
Okay.
My grandmother, when she was like 97, she died when she was 97. But one time, and was at least 95 when she said this, but she said, I know I'm 95 years old. But then she pointed to her head and she said, but I'm not in here.
Yeah.
It's like, and I always think about that.
Yeah.
As I get older, it's like, yeah, you're still that goofy-ass 17-year-old,
Yep.
too.
Yeah. And that's kind of.
But there's
part of this.
multiple meanings too. When someone's really old and they say, "I'm not in here,"
And when it's talking about containing multitudes, you contain your version of all the people you know is in your brain,
Right.
And then the reality of who they are is somewhere else.
Yeah.
But you have your own world. Everyone has their own world in their own
Yeah,
heads.
it's true.
I majored in psychology at University of Tennessee.
Yeah.
And I remember the very first psychology class. The professor came out and he said, Sigmund Freud was the first person to suggest the notion that the world you have inside your head is different than the one that's outside that everyone can see.
That's it, yeah.
And that was a groundbreaking idea.
Yeah, yeah.
And
This plays off that, and I'm glad to see. And like I say, it's not in a typical horror context at all. So anyway, strongly recommend it. The Life of Chuck.
Cool.
And not because it's my namesake either. And
Send us your questions and requests at howweheardit@gmail.com.
bingo, yes. And maybe you'll give us some fascinating things to explore. Yep. So, but until then, we'll talk to you.
How do you say goodbye in Russian?
I don't know. I know Pожалуйста, спасибо.
Das Vidanya.
До свидания.
Is that it?
I don't know.
Goodbye.
Auf Wiedersehen.
You've been listening to How We Heard It with Chuck Campbell and Wayne Bledsoe, a podcast about music, movies, art, culture, whatever it is that's on their mind. How We Heard It was recorded at the Arbor Studio in Knoxville, Tennessee by me, John Baker. How We Heard It is a Cozy Planet production. If listening to this podcast has given you a burning sensation, then we recommend you sit in a hot tub until your symptoms fade away. If you'd like to reach out to Chuck or Wayne or even me, you can send an email to howweheardit@gmail.com. So thank you for listening, and come on back and we'll have another episode for you next week.